Today's fairy tale is an Indonesian story that was suggested to me and is literally the wildest thing I've ever read. If you think Greek mythology is crazy, move over for this one. It's a myth that's meant to explain the creation of Tangkuban Perahu, a mountain, and Lake Bandung, and all of the surrounding area. It's the legend of Sangkuriang. It starts with a supreme deity getting mad at two other deities and condemning them to roam the earth as a dog, the man's a dog, and the woman is a boar. One day a Sudanese king is walking through the forest and he needs to relieve himself, so he pees on some bushes. But some of the pee mixes with some of his semen, which ends up in a coconut shell that the goddess in boar form then drinks and becomes pregnant. Because she's an animal demigod, she gets pregnant and gives birth within hours, and she gives birth to a human child. The king is still in the jungle because hardly any time has passed. He finds the baby and he decides, oh, I'll go and raise it as my own, not knowing it biologically is his own. The baby's a girl and he names his daughter Dayang Sumbi. Dayang Sumbi grows up into a beautiful princess and everyone wants to marry her, but she doesn't care about them. She just wants to weave. Well, one day she's weaving and she drops one of her weaving utensils off the balcony of the palace. She's not allowed to go down there and leave the palace to get it because royalty. It's a bamboo cylinder to spin threads and she wants it so bad she yells down, if someone brings that to me, if you're a girl, I'll be your sister, and if you're a boy, I'll marry you. Well, Tumang, who's the god dog from earlier, is the one who brings it up to her. So she's like, well, guess I gotta marry this dog. The king and her family are so ashamed and embarrassed that they make her go live with him out in the woods. But like in lots of fairy tales, she soon finds out the dog is a supernatural being, and because of that, he can turn into a gorgeous human man at night. A handsome god, actually. But it only happens once a month, and our girl is in such a daze, she almost thinks it's a dream that she's making passionate love to this human man once a month, and when she gets pregnant, she's surprised. She eventually gives birth to a son named Sangkuriang, and she just thinks that it came out of nowhere. One day when Sangkuriang is 10, the mom says, I really want some deer liver. Go hunt some deer with the dog. So they go out. And they can't find any deer, but the boy does spot a boar, and he tries to shoot it with an arrow, but the dog realizes it's the goddess boar, so he tries to stop it. Sangkuriang gets so mad at the dog that he hits him and accidentally kills him. He's horrified by what he's done. He doesn't want his mom to know, so he cuts out the dog's liver, takes it home, and says, here's deer liver, mom. And Tumang, the god that was in the dog, goes back up to the heavens when he's dead because he was a deity. Mom cooks the liver, she eats her half, but our dude's too ashamed to eat his part, and he finally confesses, this is the dog's liver. I killed the dog. The mom gets so mad that she lashes out, hits him on the head with a cooking spoon. She hits him so hard he bleeds, and he runs out of the house and leaves because his mom has never been like that before. So he decides, I'm never going home, I'm gonna go live on my own forever. Well, after a while, she feels bad and she goes out and tries to find him, but she can't find him. Remember, our dude is 10 when all this goes down. So he grows up, becomes a man, and because of his head injury, also kind of has amnesia and starts to forget his entire life before. One day he meets this beautiful woman who lives in the woods, and she doesn't recognize him either because it's been a while. They fall in love and decide to get married. The day before the wedding, she's combing his hair and sees a scar from the spoon she hit him with and suddenly realizes, oh my God, this is my son. So she immediately tells him, she's like, yo, you're my son. I cannot marry you. This is super wrong. But he does not believe her. Since he won't call off the wedding, she tries to give him impossible tasks to put it off. And this is where the geography comes in. She says, you have to build me a great lake by filling the entire valley with water. Then you need to build a giant canoe for us to both be in, but you have to do both of these things on the same night. But he's the son of a god, and with the help of other heavenly spirits, he is able to make the lake. He cuts down a huge tree to make the boat. Our girl can tell he's gonna complete the task before the morning, and so she calls to the gods for help. And then they make lightning so bright in the sky, it confuses the rooster, who crows and makes it seem like it's morning before he's done with the boat. He's so angry, he kicks the giant boat, it turns over, and it turns into the mountain. And Tangkuban Perahu apparently means turned over boat, the name of the mountain. The rest of the tree the boat is carved from becomes another mountain, and then the lake is obviously the lake whose name comes from dam because he dammed it up to make it. But our dude is so frustrated and will not be deterred, so he tries to force himself on his mother. But she gets away. She begs the Almighty to help her one more time, and she gets transformed into a flower. And Sangkuriang cannot find her in the forest and consequently goes insane. And that's the end of the story. Interestingly, according to geologists, the lake and the mountain are remnants of an ancient lake, estimated to be 125,000 years old. The lake dried up 16,000 years ago, and then the mountain was created from volcanic eruption. But this story is way more fun. As always, check out my book, Dust Spells, a reimagining of the 12 Dancing Princesses, and my podcast. All the links are in the bio.